Hello everyone, welcome to Game Brigade. My name is Brian.
Jessica.
I'm Noah.
And today we are going to be doing our final thoughts after our gameplay here of Cosmic Conquest. If you haven't watched the video of the gameplay, I highly recommend you watching that first because we're going to be kind of talking about our experience playing that game and kind of our thoughts about this game. And basically this should help you guys make the best decision if this game is for you and adding it to your collection. So I'm going to pass this over to Noah so you don't have that blocking you. So first off, congratulations Noah on your dominating victory. You had a very massive swing of points where I thought I was kind of in control of this game the entire time, but you gained 6 gambit points.
Yeah, almost 2 turns in a row.
Yeah, it was kind of a huge swing. But real quick, I want to get Jessica. This is probably like the first, actually both of us could answer this, but I think this is the first time you've played a game like this. What were your thoughts overall of playing this?
I liked it because it was easy enough to pick up, but there is a lot here. There's a lot of layers of strategy. Like in the beginning, these two were duking it out while I was like sneaking around, racking up gambit points, and they're just fighting. So,
Yeah.
But there's so many layers. There's so many different combinations in your fighters. It's simple enough to pick up pretty quickly, but advanced enough where it's got a lot for everybody.
Yeah, I want to kind of build off of that. I do, like, when I was explaining the game to teach before we played, I thought it was, like, easy. It's like, you get 2 actions. You get to attack or move in any combination.
It's not bad once you start to play. Like,
Yeah.
when you're getting all of the, the word vomit at you, and it's just like, I just need to play it.
Yeah.
Like, and then when we start playing, it's like, okay. And these are fabulous.
Super helpful.
So
Fabulous.
great.
I think I mentioned that in my unboxing video. I was like, these are some of the best player aids.
Yes.
Because it gives you not only the reference guide for
Yep.
what all the symbols mean,
Yep.
but it breaks down the combat steps very clearly.
Yep.
And then the turn order is very good. I
Turn
mean,
order,
we did have some like additions
combat.
just for like, clarity's sake. But
Yep.
for the most part, very, very good. Now, Noah, when we played this the first time, when we went, a week or so ago, I think we both thought, like, this is a board game that's not like any other games in our collection. Do you still think that?
Absolutely.
And what are your thoughts?
So I super like the interactions that it has. So you're with your team of 3 contenders. I feel like there's a lot of breadth that you can sort of work with in terms of strategy. As Jessica said, towards the beginning, you and I were sort of back and forth, just swinging at each other, going for the biggest hits we could.
Yeah.
That didn't end up working out for me all that well. I ended up, anytime I tried to do anything,
You're
I
like,
ended up losing
I can't go toe to toe with this guy.
I can't sustain this. And so I ended up going for a slightly sneakier route, going for big swing points and big swing plays.
Yeah.
And that paid off for me. I really liked being able to sort of be on my toes and not have it be the end of my game if I get knocked down. You know?
Yeah, we made comments in the video that, like, even if you lose your guy, sometimes it's fine because it resets your cooldowns, get your 15 points, and in engaging in combat, you're getting experience points so that you can actually purchase these cards and do things that are part of the more fun parts. One of the things I liked is that the variety of abilities that all the characters have is pretty wide, and they're pretty powerful. Like, each time I'm like, all right, bro, I'm hitting you for 18. Be ready. I'm coming in. So you feel like when you're playing with powers and abilities that you're doing powerful things, and I always like that. Overall, I also liked the kind of variety here we have in the planets in terms of what's your strategy going to be. For me, my first strategy was like, okay, I'm going to try to just conquer a planet right away because I don't think anyone's going to have the overthrow ability. So I'm going to get control of a good planet. And you did the same thing, and Jessica kind of did the same thing.
No,
but Jessica was
ran
smarter.
Up to the corner to conquer.
Because what my game plan was is I was like, I'm going to control this because no one's going to have 10 XP for overthrow. That's going to be locked for the rest of the game. But Jessica grabbed this one, which gives her the ability to use the conquer ability instead of the overthrow ability.
Yep.
And I didn't
Came
think
right
of
back
that.
down and stole it from
Yeah.
him.
And I'm like, well, never taking that again. That's gone because I'm not going to sit here and wait for experience to get to 10 to potentially. I'm trying to use my experience to gain cards or level up my characters. Now, would you recommend this game to people? Like, what are your thoughts in terms of the overall gameplay?
I would definitely recommend it. Once again, I super like the interaction. It feels like anything that you can do will get you points. There isn't, while you can feel a setback, it doesn't feel like it feels like you're falling forward.
Yeah.
And I super appreciate that. Once again, I know we've already talked about these, but these are super, super helpful, I think, for newer players, having the points, the way to get points.
For me.
Yeah, how
Just
do you gain points?
Yep.
Super helpful. Oh, you know what? Did we do all the bonuses?
Not at the end, no.
We didn't. We don't even know if we fucking won.
We gotta check.
We're gonna
have to
check.
see.
We're
Isn't
gonna
it the first 1 to 20?
No, because
First
then you
one to 20, but
have
then
for
you
each
get
planet
endgame
you
points.
control, for each home planet you control, for every 5 XP of unspent experience.
I guess we have to do that after this video.
Yeah, we'll check. We'll double check.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little audit coming in hot. I mean, I don't think I'm
He says he
catching up.
wins, he's lying.
I don't think I'm getting 5 experience. Jessica, overall, what are your thoughts on this one?
I love it. I would recommend it. I am a more casual gamer, as you all know. I like the cutesy stuff. But this is fun. I also am huge into fantasy, and you'll hear my comments about my babes here. But you know what I also really loved, especially since combat is like kind of forced upon you, but it's okay. Like
Yeah.
it's okay if your guy dies. I love that when you attack, you can't miss.
Yeah.
You can't miss, and that's like missing on attack, like when you're winding up with 6 dice and you get misses, that is such a killjoy. It's just such a bummer, especially if you're a newer player or like you don't play a lot of strategy stuff. So the lack of feels bad sort of stuff with the attack is great.
Now, I will say I had a massive feel bad moment when I
That's okay.
popped my ultimate ability here to destroy your planet, and I whiffed on 3 rolls. I'm like, I just need 3 double hits because I get a free one here,
That's just bad luck.
and I whiffed.
Missing by 1
Now,
roll.
I always like to talk about, and this is just what I like to do, but I always like to talk about things that either didn't work for me or things I could have seen improvement on. And there were things in this game that I personally would have liked differently, and maybe it elevates it to a complexity level that might not be as fitting for every gamer. Because right now, I think the complexity level of the game could be fit in a lot of collections.
Yes.
But one of the things that, for me, I would have loved to have seen were the ability to have our characters interact as a team.
Yeah.
So, like, if, yes, you're attacking this guy, but if my savior has a passive that gets me an extra shield or healing, that way the drafting mechanics of how do I want to develop my team? Because right now, the way it works is this guy's engaged in combat, only his abilities work, and same, obviously for each one. So I would have loved maybe to have a little bit more connectivity of my abilities, or maybe be able to pop this ability on this character when this guy's in combat, so that I can take it use. But again, I don't know if that begins adding too many layers
that would
of
be a lot of
complexity.
layers. Yep.
But it's just, me, when I love powers and abilities, I love making me feel like I'm doing something cool and fun. But that's the only thing that I had a negative thought on, but maybe in terms of just my personal take. What about you guys? Is there anything here that you saw that maybe you would have liked differently or didn't care for?
I wish I would have bought more of this stuff, but that's just game.
I will say...
I feel like we didn't get a lot of weapons. I
So
know
I
you
will
guys were
say...
commenting about that.
Yeah, one of the things about the armory deck is, as far as I'm aware, now all of this is prototype. Rules could be changed, of course, and we could even misinterpret rules. We try our best to read them as we know. But one of the things that you can do is spend 2 experience to reset. What does the thing say here?
Reset the armory.
Yep.
Reset the armory, right?
Restock.
Restock. And we're like, what is restock? I believe that means you wipe the armory and you draw 5 new cards.
Yeah.
Now, gaining experience is very tough.
Super tough.
You can get experience by entering combat. Both players get experience. You get experience for overthrowing and conquering. And you gain 2 experience just naturally at the start of your turn. So when you're trying to buy things and flip your guys to their more powerful side, spending 2 experience to wipe the board is painful, but it also sets your opponents up better because now they're getting 5 fresh cards while you have spent 2. So I didn't necessarily like that, and I did make a comment. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did send an email to the publisher saying that I wish that we gained an experience also whenever I killed an opponent.
Yeah.
You know, just so
Yeah.
that, you know, we went into combat, we each got it, but if I killed it, not only am I getting points for the kill, I would like it, because experience can be very tough.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I drafted this guy, because I was like, oh, I get to siphon to experience. That's gonna, but it didn't end up doing anything for me. And I do agree. I think these cards add a lot more playability, but it's so hard to pay for them, pay for these, and get through the deck at any time of reasonable pace.
Yep.
So that, yeah, I do agree with your comment on that. Noah?
Yeah, I would agree with the same thing. I almost wonder if changing it to a 1 cost might make it better, although at that point it may be too cheap, so I'm not too sure about that.
I mean, I think it'd be fine at keeping lower to 1 and keep the XP gain the same.
More money gain, less.
You could either
Gotcha.
gain more XP and keep the cost the same, or reduce the cost of clearing this and keep the XP the same. But I do think the 2, especially when you're getting low on experience, is kind of detrimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say one of the other negatives, sort of, we've talked about the synergy and the interaction between players. I think one of my biggest negatives just from this game, I always feel, so out of the 2 games we play, I always feel like there's one character that I just don't use at all. In this case, it was this character, Cadavros. I think I made a single attack roll with him, which ended up in no damage on either side.
Yep.
So he literally did nothing the entire game.
And I will say, every game I've played, my savior character was my least used character. And I don't know if that's just the role that they're playing, but again, that's maybe back to my point of, I wish the savior character, because they're kind of a healer.
Yeah.
Their abilities or their passives could be affecting other situations, because obviously I want to do my sentinel and my destroyer. I want them to be the ones doing the combat, and I didn't ever find situations where I could use their abilities effectively. Or, you know, there was one time where I stole experience, obviously, and then I restored health, but then you have to wait forever for it to come back down. Oh God, there's another thing. Right now, all the cooldowns are 3, regardless. I would love to see some variety in the cooldowns. Maybe to make these saviors more viable, maybe reduce them to 2 or 1 based on the power level of the cooldown.
Yep.
That way, you're using their ability more often, so you're more likely to engage with them in the combat.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I said, overall, as a first impressions, I had a great time. You can watch the gameplay; that's all natural, you know, stuff.
Yep.
In fact, I made a combat. You know, who knows how long that video is? It could be hours.
It's 2 hours long.
But I made a combat that I was like, oh, I honestly
Forgot we were
that we're
filming.
like filming. I'm just playing with my friends here. So that's a very good sign of a fun, engaging game.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And I enjoyed this at 3. It was good at 4. I wanted to do our gameplay at 3 because I thought 4 might be too long. You know, who knows? The downtime can get bad when there's extra players because you're sitting here kind of waiting. But yeah, any final thoughts before we wrap up, Noah?
It's a fantastic game. I would seriously consider backing it if you enjoy the vibe that we've been talking about.
Yep.
And watch the gameplay video. If you like that vibe, you'll like this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on my end, casual gamers, don't be afraid of it. It's fine. Like, you can pick it up. I'm serious. Like, I like the cutesy, you know, like the garden games, the Tokaido, that's me. Wingspan, Wormspan, that's me. This has got more strategy, but don't be afraid of it. You can pick it up real quick.
And we were a little nervous having Jessica in because combat games aren't just like, you don't like being attacked, you don't like being picked on.
I'm not. Yeah,
But, yeah.
Don't pick on me. I get
But
mad.
I think it worked well. So, anyways, thank you guys for taking some time to play with me. I know, you know, taking time out of your night is always hard. So, thank you for joining us. My name is Brian, Jessica, and Noah from Game Brigade Studios. Thank you for watching. We will talk to you very soon.